Tumas of Torah. This year is entitled Doviv a Jewish Wedding, Part 2. In honor of Moshe Rachaeli, Baruch Hashem, Moshe Kassin, Rachaeli Myers, getting married, and go over a few halachot of the Jewish wedding. We discussed in the first part signing the ksuva. We start off the chassan's tish signing the ksuva, crucial part of the witnesses. Throughout the night, the witnesses are absolutely crucial to go ahead and transform this wedding into a halachic wedding. We discussed the severity of the witnesses and who they must be. Very, very serious. Those are people here and say, oh my gosh, who's a witness today? Yes, that is a good question. It has to be someone of Ben Torah who's 100% committed to Torah mitzvot, as we learned. We go ahead from the ksuva, we go to the chassans, from the chassan's tish, we go to the bedeking. The bedeking is a beautiful, happy, exciting time. A couple didn't see each other for the week. The energy in the air, electricity is unbelievable. Covering, he goes and he sees her, covers her hair, and some say symbolically it represents where Rivka covered her hair. There's a shita that actually says the Chalka B'Chokek brings down on the Shulchan Aruch, on the commentary on the Shulchan Aruch, that it actually is one of the shitot of how you're going to have chuppah. As we're going to learn shortly, they are different opinions of halachically what is a chuppah. And therefore, actually, those that say that it is covering up of the hair. Of course, the question on that opinion that's not so simple is, wait a second, the chuppah, which creates the su'in, the second part of the marriage, that's after Kiddushin, and this is before. So the post can grapple with that point. So we have the bedeking, and then from the bedeking, we go into the ceremony itself, and we go to the chuppah. But really, halachically, we're not really ready to go to the chuppah yet. Because at this point, what we have is we have to first be involved in Kiddushin. And Kiddushin precedes the chuppah. Because what does the chuppah accomplish? Chuppah accomplishes nisuin, the completed marriage. And we first have to do Kiddushin, the first part of the marriage. When the young man goes over to the woman and says, Harei Mekudesh Ali, and gives the ring, that's creating Kiddushin, which is the partial marriage. And that has to be before nisuin. So when we're physically going to the chuppah, yes, we're under the canopy, but right now the focus is on Kiddushin. It used to be years ago that a man would go ahead in front of witnesses, Harei Mekudesh Ali, and the Kiddushin was accomplished right then and there, and then they'd have a year or so to prepare for the wedding. And then they would have the chuppah. For various reasons, we do it all together. So it's a few different ceremonies, few different halachic acts that are combined, but it's important to understand each one really is a separate act. So we go into the chuppah. Luckily, we don't have the chuppah yet, really. We have Kiddushin, that's the first part. And what is Kiddushin? Kiddushin means it could be either through kesef, shtar, or bia. There are different ways to have Kiddushin, and nowadays we do Kiddushin with money. And we don't use it money, we use a ring. Now, the ring is a simple, basic ring. The engagement ring that a girl has, that's not anything to do with Kiddushin, that is just a nice engagement ring. A diamond ring could be thousands and thousands of dollars. The ring for Kiddushin, we purposely use a simple one, not a fancy one. And the reason is that when we have the Kiddushin, because the Kiddushin means that he gives over the ring, gives over some monetary value. And it's important that she has some basic understanding of what the monetary value is. Maybe she has in mind when she sees this gorgeous ring, yeah, I'm getting engaged on condition I get a $30,000 ring. And really, it's a $30 ring. It's just an unbelievable copy. So we keep it very simple. It's clear. It's $100, $200. It's a simple ring. And she has in mind that I'm getting engaged with the simple, basic monetary value. And that's why we keep the ring simple. That's how the minhag developed. They use an expensive ring, not that you wouldn't be engaged, but that's how the minhag developed, to keep the ring simple. And then, now we have the ring. It's in his possession. He owns it. He has to give his money to her. So then we're ready for the Kiddushin ceremony. And what does that mean? He designates the witnesses, because you need witnesses to see the event, and the brachot are made. what brachot are made, or Pirgafen, and there's Veneral Harayis Vilan Suya Chup of a Kiddushin. Those are the brachot that are said. So once we have the witnesses, the ring, and the brachot, then he gives a ring. That's the Kiddushin ceremony. At that moment, once he puts the ring on her finger, then halachically she's an Eshet Ish. She's not Nisu'ah yet. She's Eshet, meaning she cannot be with any other man at this point. Halachically, she's an Arusa. He cannot take her home yet. They cannot go home yet because they didn't do the Nisu'in ceremony yet, which is the chuppah we'll discuss in the future shiur. But it's Arusa. But the next point, the next year I want to discuss, so we have the witnesses, we have the ring, he gives the ring, makes the brachot. But wait a second, this is his mitzvah. Why is the rabbi making the brachot? Not him, not the chatan. So we'll discuss that next year. Shalom.